Hello, Ugly Zen here. I'm really excited to come back to this channel. Um, I've been, well, my hair is much shorter. I've lost some weight, and I'm ready to just start making vlogs. I feel like there's too much pressure to make short videos, so I'm just gonna make a vlog. Um, I'm sure I'll do shorter videos, but I just, you know, um, I just like to rant and um, yeah, it should be fun, uh, and it should be quite candid. Uh, so, some things that I've been up to. I just completed a 7 day fast, and that might seem like a crazy thing to like a lot of people to hear that, but I actually have some friends that have done like 2 weeks. Like coworkers that they just naturally went into fasting, but I've been drinking snake juice, which is uh, just water and salt basically with some potassium in it. I've been following the snake diet, Cole Robinson on YouTube, or Snake Diet Wizard. I've been watching his stuff every single day, and uh, he really has helped me overcome, I would say, addictions. Yeah, like it's straight to the point, just like overcoming addictions. I feel like because when you don't eat food for several days, you um, you overcome those certain things that you want but don't need, and um, like it's a lot of discipline really to just let things go. Because I get hungry and then I'm just weighted out and then it goes. And during this fasting journey, I've given up weed, I've given up uh, caffeine, and I've even given up microdosing. I don't really plan to do any psychedelics, and originally not for a while at least, this channel was originally created because I wanted to um, sort of just have it be a psychonaut thing. But I'm just gonna open myself up completely if I can, and um, yeah, just talk honestly about my life in as a whole instead of just like novel psychedelic experiences. But I'll definitely be getting into um, experiences that I've had. Um, I watch a lot of YouTube, and um, I've always dreamed of, not always, but watching Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan. Honestly, Joe Rogan, basically from the start, was like, he's like, wow, these people talk so fluent. Like, I want to be like that someday. Because at the time, I was just, I felt dumb. Like, I couldn't really think that good. And my thoughts were all over the place and scatterbrained. And I was on Ritalin. This was like high school, middle of high school or so, 16, 17, and just discovering these adults who can keep conversations so well. And I never really had, I never had conversations like that where two people could just like exchange so much information. And it really made me reevaluate really the purpose of like talking to people, because it made me realize, I guess, a lot of times people just, they talk and people will have discussions, but it's really just sort of like social posturing, or yeah, not really communicating much. That actually, there's not much teaching or learning in a lot of conversation. A lot of it is just regarding the weather, or those shallow, impersonal things that are all too personal, really. Or, I mean, all too. I guess those things make you more personable in a way. Like, that's how you socialize, is you say things that aren't very personal, but screw that. And so, yeah, I decided to jump right back into making videos like this because I feel like I just reached a level of, I guess, like shamelessness where I have to accept myself and express myself. I be able to speak my mind, and if people, yeah, I feel like if you're able to speak your mind, you're gonna find solid people. If you have to hide yourself for other people's, I guess, convenience, it's um, it can just feel like you're not really who you are, and so I I got excited getting into this because I'm gonna be who I am, and I'm excited. Uh, so so yeah, with fasting, it has felt so good. You get into ketosis, which is essentially where you're using fat as a fuel source instead of carbs, and um, but with fasting, you're using your own body fat, and I'm not gonna show you guys now, but like I had a gut. Like I still have a bit of a gut, but like I'm not um like I got a bit leaner. I guess I would say that I was skinny fat, and I did 2 years of keto diet, and then I did 6 months of carnivore. Probably like 2.5 years, maybe even 3 years of keto diet actually. Um, and much of the keto diet was, I would say, quite lazy. Like, I would fail on it, and when you fail on ketosis, you throw yourself out of ketosis, and then you have to build yourself back into ketosis, and there's a transition period. You get keto sick, and same with carnivore. But with carnivore, I didn't mess it up. Um, Well, I tried carnivore for the first time I tried carnivore, I did mess it up actually. I only did like 1 month, and Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson's daughter, recommends 6 weeks, but yeah, I only did 4. And when I did it, I did it as cheap as I could possibly do it because I was a college student. And so I got really cheap ground beef, and I don't. I feel like that just didn't satiate me enough. It didn't. It wasn't enough to. It wasn't enough to where I could resist things, I guess. To where when I started it back up, I I was actually I added steak in. Like, I just invested more in myself, and I was getting steak, and um. But yeah, when I failed a thing that made me go into carnivore is I feel like if you go down the ketosis road, um, you will you'll find your not everyone, but I found myself at a crossroads where it was like, okay, um, it's like if you're not strict keto, I don't even know. It's just like you get cravings for things. If you eat berries and you make a smoothie, you make your zero carb chocolate um, protein shake in the morning. Um, and then you go to your workplace or school, and they have like the the donuts or cookies out, or the the protein bar, even though it has higher carb count in it. Like I felt like with keto, I messed it up again and again and again and again and again, like so many times where it would make me sick, and it felt like an addiction. Like it was like I don't have control over this. Like it feels like I'm poisoning myself really, because just you not staying on the narrow path, you know. On I would the deeper you go into ketosis or carnivore, like the more serious the consequences, or you become more sensitive to things that are not on that path, so to speak. So that's how I ended up on carnivore, because I felt like if I just cut everything out, I wouldn't have the thing that would spark up that little monster in me that um, couldn't couldn't really have control. It just felt like a possession of sorts, or I sort of just like I gave into it maybe, and I just since I failed it so many times, I felt like I needed an intervention, and um, yeah. So the worst the worst of it was like my first yeah, it was like my first semester of college, and it was around holidays, and that's when they had all the cookies and stuff out, and that's also when they have all the testing for exams, and that is just like the peak stress. Like um yeah, so I failed horribly. I fell out of ketosis. I fell totally out of ketosis, to almost like hopeless. I was just eating as much as I could. I was eating all the cookies that I could. I was going on these unstoppable food binges where I would go to Trader Joe's, get all the good shit, and um, all the cookies and cakes and stuff, and that's literally what I would seek out, and so I would get that, and I would just like eat that stuff until I was sick, and I had this experience where um, I like put myself into almost like if it kind of felt like a coma of sorts. I don't want to say coma, but I just like passed out, with such a I just crashed hard from eating a bunch of sweets, and I crashed hard, and then I had this nightmare where it felt like um, I was almost like falling in a void, and um, and then I sort of landed in my room, and I was like all messed up in a way where I was sort of like half blind. I didn't really have control of all my limbs. I was sort of like struggling to move around and like get out of my room and like call out for help. It was scary, and I woke up from this dream, and um, that was like a wake up call for me. It had to be, and so it's like, okay, uh, it's either I keep doing this or I cut everything out, and so I went carnivore, and I want to say that was when I started up carnivore for the second time, But then I just want to say that I don't think keto or carnivore is the way. I actually don't promote it. I promote, I guess, like meat based because it is very nutritious and um, it's just very clean. It feels like just eating meat based. But I don't promote carnivore because you get very sensitive to everything else and um, you take away your resiliency to other food sources. And that is not, you know, like in the back of my mind doing carnivore is like, knew, you know, I knew that there was, I was just making the path more narrow for me. But now I discovered fasting, and with fasting, I wish I discovered it way sooner. Because with fasting, you can actually have a little bit of freedom with what you eat if if and when you become lean enough to actually to where you if you're overweight, like I feel like have quite a bit of fat composition, and like once I eat that up from fasting, I'm gonna introduce more things like um, fruits, um, roots. I added in some habanero. Uh, I made jerky and I diced it up and I put little specks on the jerky. The jerky was ground beef too. It was just ground beef and salt and habanero on some of it, and I'd say that was a success. I didn't experience any like immune reaction to it. It was just a little spicy actually because it was in the freezer, and it was also I was started out small and that's the point is like I would have to start small to reintroduce myself to these things. Um, um, I'm since I'm gonna probably have this video be carry out a bit more. I'm gonna try and keep it to a topic, and maybe I can um, you know um, maybe put like a general title to it. Um, I have recently gotten out of a relationship, and I'm not totally destroyed by it. I mean, I kind of was when it initially happened, as I feel like most people would be, but like um I feel like I've made quite a bit of progress with addictions, and I think there can be this thing where I think a root of addictions could be a sort of um you want you want to make people um like you'll do things just to sort of make people think that you're enough, I guess. Like you'll try and serve them in a way that to where they what you want from them is you want them to think that you're enough. And that can be a root of addiction for people. I feel like people do hard drugs, whether it be from um, a bar or a doctor's office, because they feel like people don't, you know, they're afraid of judgment from other people. Um, they have like this shame, I want to say, to where um, I am coming to be more shameless, I want to say, and just, like be me. And um, being me is okay with me. I can say no to people. If they think I'm weird because I won't eat, if they think I have, some personality disorder or like eating disorder or um, any sort of like self harm, like I know that is not the pursuit of what I'm doing. And it's not even vanity because I did a 7 day fast, and when you go 7 days, or when you go long enough in the pursuit of something, I don't think vanity will carry you all the way, or uh, yeah, like at a certain point, you need to have a purpose, and so I, I've, I've sort of distilled myself into finding purpose with fasting. Like it's less about um, appealing to other people and more about helping people. And helping people is what got me through it. I think of people I care about, whether it be coworkers, family, or whatever, or just general people. And um, oh, and that helped me keep going. And that was um, I feel like that is why I'm able to do videos again. Is because um, I'm not I'm not making this I'm not making this for anyone specific. It's for, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, just to like help people. And it's for me as well because that's where I um, can feel content. Um, yeah, just finding that line of purpose. I keep looking down here because that's where the screen is that shows my face, and I keep looking at it. Um, but um, yeah, I think I'll wrap it up for this video. Just a few more things that I want to say about fasting, though, is I've had to sort of doing an extended fast. Um, it is kind of, your body doesn't, I guess, it's very healing. There's something called autophagy, and man, I'm really passionate about fasting after like having the experience. Um, Autophagy is where you use old dead cells to build new ones, and um, I'm not a, I'm not like an expert. I'm just a person with experience. So, um, but there's this autophagy effect, and I had some, I want to say inflammation in my jaw, where it was almost like a muscle spasming, and just a little bit. Like I'd notice it when I fell asleep, and with fasting, I feel like it just cleared that up, and and the feeling is just um, it's just like a glow, like it's like a full body, just like um, glow or something like that. And like I get this sweet taste in my mouth from the ketones. Um, if that's the ketones, I don't know, but I get like the sweet taste in my mouth, and I just feel like very clean, um, and yeah, it helps with pain. Um, it has helped me with pain, and it just has this mental feeling like it's restoring and healing. But some downsides to it is like it is a bit draining. Like you're like definitely endurance, I would say, goes down during the fast. You're not at optimal performance, but I'm okay with not being optimal performance for a little bit because I know I can just get that back. Like I feel confident that I can get that back. I mean, I feel like I'm already experiencing that because I had a refeed after 7 days, and then now I'm um now today is the day after. Like I haven't eaten today, and I'm not gonna eat today. I'm gonna do 72 hours, and I'm just gonna do 72 hours and cycle that until I'm, you know, eat up that fat, and then. But yeah, with refeeding, like I feel like I I feel the bounce back from it, and it actually feels like I bounce back even stronger. It's crazy. Like it's very muscle sparing. That's another thing too. Is that's good to know with the snake diet because there is I've witnessed people who they really have this restrictive attitude or something like that, and it's it's again like trying to appeal to other people, and I feel like that is not really self love. It's not self guiding. It's not self governing, and or self trusting, and um, and there's like a pathology with that. It's people will um, they they sort of are in an illusion that it can't really be um, like the goal can't be attained, um, or perhaps maybe even felt. I don't know. It, but yeah, some people they'll like pursue the fasting, but perhaps maybe it's natural that they pursue it, but there's like I think that the diet is still poor. Like they might drink energy drinks and um, eat little snacks, and they're spiking their insulin, and it's not really a true fast with salt water or anything like that. It's just um, there's no guidelines to what they're doing, and um, in this day and age, it's very toxic to do the fasting and to not have like a good water source or yeah um, like when I do it when I do the water fasting, I don't get lightheaded because I'm drinking I'm getting my electrolytes. um, I can still have while I'm fasting, even after so many days, like I can still have like I would say I don't lose it, and what I mean by that is I can still have like powerful um, I guess I can say I can be explosive, like with working hard, and one thing too about fasting is with work is I work in a fast-paced kitchen environment, and there's a lot of demands placed on you, and there's some physical labor there, and like with the closing duties, um, when I was fasting, I gave up weed, I gave up caffeine, I gave up microdosing. I wasn't relying on anything to possess me to be a man of action. I wasn't, not even people. Like, it was really just, I feel like I was much more mindful of um, my duties. Like, I got a compliment actually, and so like I was from a manager. They're telling me that they didn't have to tell me I was missing anything at the end of the night, and they're happy about that, because usually I just I get the trifecta going, maybe, where it's like the weed, the THC, the microdose, and I just power through everything. And I mean, I would say I've had success with microdosing, but I would say it's not necessary. But for now, I am taking a break from it while I pursue um, just a better body composition. Like I guess I'm just focused on um, trying to do something um, completely out of my will, and not leaning on anything to get me there, or to get me through it. Um, Maybe in the future I'll reintroduce microdosing, but yeah, I feel like I've just had this mentality shift, and um, I think it's been positive for me and freeing. Um, so yeah, thank you for tuning in. I'll be doing more of these. This is really fun for me. Uh, Maybe I can do a chat with someone else. I've So I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm just gonna keep doing this. I have a feeling I'm just gonna keep doing this. So, cheers.